Can you share? You good?
Yeah, I'm about to share it in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see my screen? And then you should see on the side right here. Again, slido.com, and then the passcode you can enter in is 92870. And then you can start answering what you described 2020 will be, and we'll just see a bunch of words. I see somebody typed in the code. Is that how you feel about 2020?
No, somebody asked what the code was for this.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so I see purposeful, hectic, awesome, unexpected. And I believe that you can type in more than one word if you already answered, if you're feeling multiple ways about it. It was a trial year, draining, impactful. Eye-opening. Crazy. I think a lot of us could say that 2020 was a crazy year. Okay, I'll give about 30 more seconds for people to put more. I see trying, depleting, especially if some of us, had our CPA journey starting in 2020. And then too, with COVID, work, being at home, it was a lot of rest while unknown, eye-opening.
Ghetto. I know Shaq put that.
A year of clarity. I love the word clarity. Okay, I think that's good. Ghetto. Who put ghetto?
What you did.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop this poll and we're gonna go to the next one. Okay, our next poll is, when do you study best? And you can type in the word, whether it be morning, evening, a certain time, a certain day. Just throw it out there, when you study best for the CPA exam. Okay, and I'm guessing the more people that put certain words that they get bigger. So early morning, morning and night are big ones. Before the world wakes up, I wonder what time that is.
For me, it's like 5:30.
Yeah, I'm a late nighter. I'm a 10 to 2 a.m. type of person.
I talked to somebody the other day, a new person, and she was saying that she used to study at like 3 a.m.
Yep.
Which I think that's how Tangika is. Like, she just studied whenever.
Okay, I think these are pretty good. Are the morning sessions much bigger than the evening ones?
It depends on, I've never been the evening, but it depends. Some mornings it might be like 2 or 3, and some mornings it might be like 8. But like, people come in at different times. It's kind of rotating.
Yep, it looks like morning was the biggest one.
I know some people don't get on either. Like, Robin's also like studying in the morning, but she doesn't get on the Zoom. She just might be chatting sometimes.
Okay, I'll stop this poll and we'll go to the next one. Okay, what section are you studying for? And hopefully this gives y'all an idea to find some more friends. Like if y'all see a whole bunch of people in reg and it's no reg people you've been studying in with the group, go on and hit them up after this.
It won't let me submit.
I want to let you submit this one.
Hold on.
No, it won't let us submit it.
Online.
Let me lock it and unlock it.
Like I can select it, but it won't send.
You have to, it like wants you to rank it for some reason,
Oh, sorry, y'all.
and then you can send it.
Oh, well, just put the one you studying for at the top.
Yeah, put the one you're
I
studying
put the
for at
order.
the top.
I put the order. I'm doing it in.
Okay.
I see what's happening. I thought it was more people.
Looks like the highest is FAR, the second is BEC, then reg, then audit.
That makes sense.
Hey guys, I'm having trouble trying to click the box.
Will they let you rank it in it?
What do you mean?
Like click on all four, but put the one that you're in now at the top.
The only thing I can see now are the answers.
It's all
It
right.
must have been timed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I see a little box at the bottom. Am I supposed to see that? You know, I'm really slow sometimes. I'll just wait and try it on the next one.
Yeah, I think it's the last one anyway. So we can, which one? What section are you studying for, Annette?
Auditing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, so it looks like the results aren't changing that much. They're going back and forth between, yeah, FAR at number one, BC at second, then reg, then audit. So I'll stop this one and then we have one last one.
Oh, we got another one.
Yeah. Okay, can you all see the quiz questions on your phone? I think it's 45 seconds on this. Kind of like Kahoot, but it's Slido.
Can you move that little box that says this meeting
That
is
was
being
my daughter
recorded?
coming.
No.
Wait, Mama, let me play this.
Yeah, I don't know that that quiz works.
I guess it's putting who all did it. It's gonna show y'all the results at the end. It's
No,
time.
it just asked us to type our name.
Our name.
It did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is trial and error. I'm so sorry.
Right.
The question was, do you pledge to be a CPA?
Well, you have to start it. We have to join it, and then you have to start it. So click start quiz.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
Can you move that box that says this meeting is being recorded?
No, that's on
I think
yours.
that's your screen.
That's not your
You
screen.
just click continue.
Oh, I'm not recording it.
You're-
I don't
No,
think
it
I am.
really shows that the meeting is being recorded, so you can either leave the meeting or continue to participate. So click continue, and then it'll go away.
Okay. It still says recording though.
You're
The
not.
meeting is being recorded. You're not recording that.
Okay, all right, okay. All right.
Girl, I'm about to meet you. Okay, Carmen, we can move on. I don't want to spend.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the question?
The question was, do you pledge to be a CPA in this year? You know how we had to pledge the 50, so we're trying
Oh
to.
yeah. Okay, I got y'all next year though. Next year.
Yes, 2021, baby.
Next year.
There were a lot of people that completed the form and selected it. So I think we'll definitely reach 50 if people you know, stay focused on it. Let me share my screen again then, and we will keep going. So thank y'all for participating in that little icebreaker, wake us up a little bit. So the next slide, just a little background here. I know most of us are familiar, but we do have some new folks. So one, I wanted to highlight all of the people who passed since we started this last year.
I just said, yeah.
Yeah, so, and there's another person, Atino, but she didn't send a picture, so we didn't put on. So we actually had 9 people that completed in 2020. So that was a good thing that we did have some success in the program, which I call a program, but that's like a big word. Right now, it's just a community. So for the new folks, we basically started this almost a year ago, and it was just, I put out a message. I said, hey, does anybody want to study together via Zoom? And it went from like 20 people to now there's over like 250 people in our group me. Not everybody participates and gets on the Zooms, but the more that you engage, like we get to know each other and study together. So it's been pretty rewarding and I think encouraging to keep us all just kind of focused on the exam. So that's a bigger part of what we're doing now. It's really a community of like-minded people trying to get the CPA done. Most of us are working professionals, so we're trying to balance work and family and church and everything else. So really excited about this community, but we do want to, one, take credit for it and then move it into a bigger initiative for NABA. So a lot of people, these people that passed, a lot of people in the program still or in our community are part of like this groundbreaking initiative, which really CPA Bound started in, I think 2013 or so, 2007, I don't know. It was a couple chairs ago. But then it kind of just died off. So now we're rebranding it. We're going to make it an official program and really gathering some resources to help people move. So the connect part, we've already done that. We have our community going. Prepare, that means, you know, helping provide resources, helping study together. We'll get some money so that, and get some scholarships from the CPA program. So you'll see us expanding the offerings as we go. And then we want to award folks as they pass. So especially at at annual convention, you know, highlighting people as they pass, maybe sending people t-shirts or mugs or something like that, because it is a process. So at least we can do is give somebody like a certificate or something. And then supporting CPAs as we go through and still need to have CPE and remain active. So there'll be more technical things that people can actually get like some CPE credits for. So that's where we're going. That's big picture. More is on the website, but I don't want to, you know, take up too much time with that. So right now, like I said, we're in the group me. It's not a program where we walk people through everything. It's not guided. And so it's not like you have to show up or you have to do anything. It's really more so based on whatever you put in is what you get out of it. And then what else do I need to highlight? So we are starting to send newsletters. So thank you everybody who has like given us your email and filled out that form. That'll help us just share information in a more direct way instead of trying to put things in GroupMe and then it gets lost. We also have the LinkedIn page that we are sharing information. So if you're not following on LinkedIn, we have our own group there as well. And then that way our GroupMe will be mainly just for setting up the study sessions for now and just chatting with each other and sharing tips and best practices. But like important information like this will be sent via email or in the LinkedIn page. And then lastly, shirts. So you can see I have this CPA Bound shirt on. I'm going to create an order form. I just had it made to see what it would look like. There's a guy here in Indianapolis with me. So I have a couple of different colors. I have one that just says CPA-ish on it. So I'm going to put together an order form. And then if you guys, you know, want a shirt, we can get shirts made and just kind of help brand and move, you know, the organization forward. If you're not a member of NABA yet, that is fine. But eventually we'll want everybody to be members. There may be some benefits, whereas like if you're part of this program, then maybe once you pass, you may get like a discount or like a year free or something like that. So we're still working through that. But eventually, once we figure out what that structure looks like, it'll be more restricted. But now it's just more so open to whoever really is trying to get their CPA done. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. And then,
Zanae, somebody asked if you could stand up so they could see your shirt.
yeah, sorry, I can't. I had it on. So there's my shirt. So CPA bound, and it's got just NABA under there. So this is the actual logo of the CPA bound community. So like I said, after this, I'll send the replay out, and I'll also put in the replay links to order their shirts. And then Carmen, I think you're up for just some quick CPA updates or testing updates.
Yes, so another big part when you schedule your exam, I think it'd be really nice to know when the score release date is, because for example, how if you took your exam before January 23rd, if you were looking to take your exam on January 24th, it's like, maybe I should just go on and take it on the 23rd or wait till later on in that score release period, just so that you can kind of time it, because waiting for your score, and if you're trying to strategize when you want to take your next test, it can be really helpful if you just look. And I always get these from the AICPA website. If you type in Google AICPA score release, you'll get to see these. So I put the next 3 score release dates. So today was the deadline to get it on February 9th. And then if you take it by the 15th, you'll get it on 23rd. And then March 10th, you'll get it on the 18th. And then also check NASBA for updates if you want to know updates for the CPA with continuous testing, as well as AICPA, and check your own state board depending on what state you're in.
Thanks. Yeah, I always try to look at the end of the testing window so I don't have to wait as long. So just kind of think through that, you know, as you're scheduling. But I know we have some people who may take it earlier in the window, and then they may just start studying for another session while they're waiting. So just be mindful of that. And then without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker for today, which I should have updated this slide, so my bad, but Jujuan Williams. When I started this journey, like getting serious about it last year, I just started stalking anybody on Instagram that had CPA in their name. And so I've been following Jujuan for a little bit on Instagram. She has a great community, a network offerings where, you know, she offers mentoring and she does different technical sessions, really trying to get more people into the profession. But also she, what I've seen is she encourages people to not just be put in a box when they obtain their license. And because, you know, everybody, once you become a CPA, they're like, oh, well, you do my taxes, where it's so much more than that. And, you know, so she's encouraging people to be well-rounded CPAs, if that's tax or starting your own business or whatever. So I thought she was pretty dope. We may look to do some more things with her and her organization in the future. So I'll let Jujuan kind of give us some more information about what she's got going on in her network. And then we can look forward to working together. So I will turn it over to you. Where'd you go? Oh, there you go. And I'll make you a co-host too if you want to share your slides or whatever.
Okay. That'll work. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be with you guys. I am a part of NABA. I'm in Florida, so I'm in the south, I think it's called the southeast region of NABA. And I'm just super excited because anyone that I can encourage in this journey, it just works for me, because it is not easy. And all of us need a little encouragement. So first off, I want to congratulate each and everyone on this call just for taking the steps to say, okay, I'm ready. I want to do this. Because, you know, people go back and forth. I went back and forth for years about, okay, am I going to do this thing or am I not? You know, am I going to go with it? I think the first time I thought about starting it was in 2009. And I got material, maybe studied a couple of months, and was like, to heck with this, I'm gonna go get a doctorate. Like, I literally figured, like, you know, I can't deal with this right now. I'm just gonna go get a doctorate. And I literally went to get my doctorate in accounting. But then the crazy thing is, before I finished writing my dissertation, I wanted to be licensed, because I still felt that being licensed and writing my dissertation about the experience would work hand in hand. So I literally did my entire doctoral program, completed all my credit hours, the first 3 chapters of my dissertation, and I stopped and started studying for the CPA exam because I wanted to revamp my dissertation and make it more about why there is a lack of African American CPAs and why we stay at this 1% or less than 1%. And I knew by taking the exam myself, I would have firsthand experience on the difficulties and then be more equipped to do my interviews and everything to complete my doctorate. So again, I think I'm super proud of everyone because you've now at least taken the steps to start studying. And of course, now we want to stay focused. So let's stay focused, setting goals and staying motivated. It's definitely a community, a village it definitely takes to embark on this journey. And just to give you a little history about myself, the crazy thing is I started studying, same with everybody else. I had my firm though, had been in business full-time since 2009. I was already making 6 figures in my own accounting firm. I was doing really well, but I would still get the question, are you licensed? It didn't matter. Like I had all this experience, degrees, and I just really, it hit a nerve. You know how something just hits a nerve right there and you feel like, God, I got all of this. I got a master's degree and I'm finishing my doctorate and you still asking me about a license? And that's when it dawned on me that you wouldn't go to a medical doctor who isn't licensed. And you wouldn't go to a lawyer who had passed the bar exam. So there is still a certain element of necessity for licensure. So, you know, sure, you can be a great accountant and make a whole lot of money without a license, but I am here to tell you with a license, you will double to triple your net worth, your own worth, your own net worth by obtaining licensure. And it doesn't matter at what stage in your life. I was 40 when I started studying. I'm now 45. I had my baby was 9 months old, I think, when I started. I'm a mother of 4, a wife. I was already running my firm with employees, so it was not at all easy, but it was definitely doable. And that's why I encourage everyone to continue on, because no matter what stage you are in life, once you know that it's time and this is what you want to do. And I always tell people to discover your why, which is my first slide. So my why was because even though I was already accomplished, I didn't have that licensure. And one of the things I have a lot of clients come to me for is auditing. And every time I got an audit client, I had to refer them out to a CPA colleague of mine that I kind of partnered up with. And what he was charging these people made me sick to my stomach. Like it literally did. I had one of my own clients crying. This lady called me crying. And she was like, Jujuan, I have to submit a grant proposal, but I need audited financials. Can you send me somebody? I sent over to him. He charged her $5,000. I had already done the work, had drawn out the letter and everything. All he had to do was sign his name to it. And he charged her $5,000 and she cried because she had to max out credit cards to pay it, but she needed it for this. And it's no way I would have done her like that. Like I wouldn't have charged somebody that amount of money when they couldn't afford it, but people do it all the time because they can't. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So after literally referring probably about 10 different audit clients to him, I told my last one that I had to refer to him that I'm taking this test no matter what. Come hell or high water, I'm taking this test. And I literally started studying that day. I started studying before I even turned my transcripts in, filled out my application. I did everything kind of all together. So I started studying while I was waiting on that process. So the most important thing is just to discover your why. What prompted you to start the journey? Because anytime you start to waver, always refer back to your why. Because for everyone, it's different reasons. Your why is for different reasons. Now, I can tell you, if your why isn't strong, then you will waver. So you have to know your why. I would during my study and put it on my whiteboard. You know, why am I doing this? Make a bulleted list. So every time you become discouraged, because discouragement will come, remember your why. And then what do you perceive the outcome and benefits to be? See, for me, I didn't really perceive the benefit to be necessarily more income. It just kind of happened because I was already doing really well. I figured my perceived outcome would be just, higher status because now you're licensed. Of course, the ability to charge more because you're licensed now, you can charge more. And then for me, it was a personal achievement. I'm just an overachiever and I wanted another personal achievement. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So always remember what do you perceive the outcome and benefits to be? Because again, that scale, if you perceive the benefit to be a lot, then you'll continue in your journey. But if you perceive the benefit, you don't really see a lot of benefit to it, then you will struggle. So you have to determine, and again, everybody's benefit is different. So ask yourself, why am I doing this and what do I perceive my benefits to be? And then even figure out what challenges you might face. For me, I knew it was going to be a sacrifice of time because I'm a mother, I own a business, I have a husband. I'm like, where the heck am I going to find the time to do this? And I knew it. So I literally talked to my husband. I said, hey, I think I'm going to study. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's going to have to be teamwork in this house. So kids, I'm going to need you to take care of little sister on weekends. I need y'all to be quiet if mommy's studying. The husband, I need you to cook dinner on these nights. I'll do laundry, but it might not get folded. Just figure out and let them know beforehand. So it's not a shock or a surprise that even for my single people and young adults, let your friends know I'm studying. So no, I can't come to your birthday party. You'll have one next year. I can't come to your baby shower, but I'll send a gift. Like it is literally a sacrifice of your time that if you are not committed to, then it will be really, really difficult because you have to miss stuff. My mom's a pastor and she would call on me all the time to, can you come to this? Because I'm counting numbers. Can you come and work the door? Can you come and do this? Can you come and do that? For 2 years, I told her, no, love you, mommy, but I can't come. I cannot because any time that I have has to be spent studying. You have to work. You have to do some stuff at home. So any extracurricular activities that are not a necessity, then you can cut them out and they'll be okay. It'll be okay. Won't nobody die. I used to tell my kids, unless you're bleeding, don't knock on my door. I can't right now. I can't. I have to focus. I went and bought noise canceling headsets and I still have them to this day. Put my headsets on, put white noise going in my ear so I can't hear anything around me and zone in and study. So you have to know within yourself what challenges you might face and then plan for them. How am I going to deal with this? Okay, my kids are in sports, so they have this day, that day. Can I take them? Can I sacrifice the time and take them and just study there? My girls are in gymnastics. I didn't miss meets because that's important to them and it's important to me, but I was there studying. I had my iPad and my phone still running questions while I was there studying. And if we had an overnight meeting, we had to travel, I was in the hotel studying. I was at the business center downstairs studying over the weekend. So again, you don't have to stop your entire life if you do have important things that you have to be there and be a part of, but you still have to factor your studying into that. Because the worst thing to do is to stop studying for any period of time because it's really difficult to pick back up. Like if you keep that pattern going, no matter where you are, it'll definitely be a challenge, but you can do it. And then lastly, am I willing to make the sacrifice? Ask yourself that. It's not always the right time. It's not. So if you know that I can't sacrifice that right now, I just started a new job. I have bills to pay, I have long hours, it's tax season, whatever the multitude of things that are going on in your life, ask yourself, can you make that sacrifice right now? And if you can't, then put it off because you don't want to waste your time and your money and it's going in a sinkhole because you don't have the ability to make that sacrifice right now. So those are things that you really have to ask yourself. And then I always equate, and people think it's crazy, but I equate our accounting profession with being a lawyer and a doctor. It's still a profession. You still have to be licensed. You still have to go through the process. And the outcome is definitely the same. the revenue or income that doctors and lawyers make, CPAs very well make as well, with less liability, because I don't have to kill anybody. Like, I'm not operating on you. So I mean, I might tear up your financials. No, we're not doing that. But it's still the same process. So when doctors and lawyers come out of college with tons of debt, okay, so do we. You absolutely do. 150 hours don't come cheap. So you have to get your bachelor's degree. So I say you are now a resident. So right now, all of you that are testing and sitting, you're in residency. You're a resident. All professions have to obtain an undergraduate degree. You have accomplished step one. So everybody on this call has an undergraduate degree. You've passed step one. Then all professions have additional education requirements. Medical school for doctors, lawyers, of course, go to law school, and then we have to get a master's degree. That's still the second part of your educational requirements to the profession. Those are things that cannot be avoided. And I think a lot of people look at it, especially when you're applying. I hear this whole 150 credit hour rule, and should it be abolished? Absolutely not. Are you going to have doctors have less education? Will lawyers have less education? No, we should not abolish 150 credit hours, because you need that knowledge to be successful in the career. So it's not about making the entry into the profession easier. It's about people stepping up and realizing that it is indeed a profession. And just as a lawyer and just as a doctor, you have to go through the steps to enter the profession. So next in your residency process is it's time for your residency to begin. So, again, doctors and lawyers, well, let's speak with doctors first. You go to get your undergrad, then you go to medical school, then you apply for residency at a hospital. And I love Grey's Anatomy, so this is kind of why this is all going in my head, because I've been watching it since season 1. So now, you're in residency. Doing residency, doctors are learning, on the job learning. So that's where your internships come in, but then they're also studying. That's where your CPA exam studying comes in. So again, on this journey, you are the resident. Right now, you are in residency. You may be working, so you're learning on the job. You may be working under a CPA to get your hours for licensure. And then you are studying, because even during residency, those doctors are still going back home and studying, because they still have to pass their final licensure after residency. That's what you're doing. So you are suffering through long hours, constant studying, sheer exhaustion. So then you go back and you focus on your why. Why am I doing this? And that's literally what will continue to push you and motivate you. And always in your mind, when people grow up, I speak a lot with Roger, CPA Review, on their little interview things. And then people always say, well, why do we have a lack of African-American CPAs and all of that? And I say, because it's not glamorous. Nobody talks about the great CPA. Nobody grows up and say, most kids say, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be a lawyer. Nobody says, I want to be an accountant. And it's because they don't have anyone around them who are accountants. They don't see it as glamorous. They don't know that you very well make 6 figures, and not just 6 figures starting with a 1. $200,000, $300,000 a year is definitely what you can make being a CPA, the same as you make being a doctor. Now, will you do that working 40 hours a week? No, you won't. But doctors don't work 40 hours a week. So I always have to tell, the ladies I coach and people I mentor, is that if you want to make doctor and lawyer pay, put in doctor and lawyer hours. Our hourly rates are the same as doctors and lawyers. My hourly rate, depending on what they want, ranges from $125 to $225 an hour. Forensics is $325 an hour. You set your goals as to what you want to do. Set yourself up to position yourself to make what you want to make. So you don't go into it being a CPA to say, I want to be a staff accountant. A staff accountant is your residency. That's your residency period where you're learning. Everyone should go through residency. So when people ask me, oh, well, should I work for the Big Four? I never did the Big Four thing. I went through corporate accounting. But you definitely need to work for one or the two, because that's your residency. You won't learn this stuff on your own. And the CPA exam does not teach you. You're learning information and you're learning techniques and you're learning all of this stuff, but that's not what you do on a day-to-day basis. So you definitely need to choose different paths. And again, I refer back to doctors. When you're in residency, you start choosing what your specialty will be. Some doctors are general surgeons or general doctors, so they know a little bit about everything. So if you want to run, say, a public accounting firm, then you may know a little bit about everything. But then if you want to be a specialty as a doctor, then you do a residency under that specialist. So whether it's a heart surgeon or a pediatrician or obstetrician, whatever it is, when you start in your general residency as your staff accountants or whatever, then you decide based on research, mentorship, talking to somebody, what you want your specialty to be. Everybody needs one because it's a million CPAs that do general stuff. You need a specialty. If you want to make any good money, you need a specialty because you can go to a CPA and get taxes done all the time. Does that mean you can't be a tax accountant? No, but that means you need to be a tax strategist or foreign something taxation or something like that. Like make it specialized within it because anybody can do taxes. You don't even need to be a CPA to do taxes. The same thing with your accounting firms. Well, I want to run an accounting firm. Okay, great, but what's your focus? You want to focus on real estate investors, you want to focus on developers, you want to focus on retail sales, you know, whatever it is. What do you want to focus on? You can focus on audit. I focus on forensics because my undergrad degree is in criminal justice. I wanted to go to law school. So I did criminal justice degree in investigations, a master's in accounting, and next week I'm sitting for the certified fraud examiner certification. And again, don't ever stop being certified. You need it. Don't think because you have a CPA, you're done now. Because again, those specialty niches are what you can charge more for. So I can charge $225 an hour for forensics now. When I get the CFE, I can charge $325 for it because now I'm a CPA and I have a CFE certification. So you just have to plan out your career to however you want it to be. And all of this though is what will continue to motivate you to study. So you know, okay, I'm studying, this is my goal, this is where I want to be. And then you want to focus on the final result, which is licensure. So your years of studying have paid off. The sacrifice is well worth the benefits. Now you're ready to perform surgery. And we do that every day. When a client approaches you and their stuff is in a mess, or they are about to be audited by the IRS, they thinking they about to go to jail, you know, whatever happening, we're performing surgery. We're fixing whatever the problem is to put them back together, their wellness. So if your leg fall off and you go to the doctor to get your leg put back on, when your clients, half of the business is about to fall off because somebody's been stealing and they don't know why, they're going to come to me and say, look, I'm losing money every day. I'm bleeding out. So can you stitch me up, please, so I can figure out what's going on? So what I'm going to do is identify what's going on, who's stealing, how it happened, fix your internal controls, stitch you up, charge you a whole lot of money, and send you on your way. So that's literally what it is. And I think that if people remember why they're doing it, what your motivating factor is, and the outcome, that in itself will keep you focused. And I think a lot of our people, our African-American, especially our young people, don't major in accounting and they are not moving forward with the CPA exam is that they don't know the final results because no one ever told them. We can't turn on the TV and see real CPAs of Atlanta or whoever. Like, you know, what they see on TV is, you know, Married to Medicine. So they see the doctors and how they live. And, you know, they see, you know, the different reality shows about different professions, but they don't see that CPAs, again, make $200,000-$300,000 a year. We live in 5,000 square foot houses. We do the same thing that everyone else does. And we put in the work and you put in the hours. I think a lot of time, especially coming out of undergrad, everyone's excited. You get your first staff accountant position and they work you like a dog. And you are completely discouraged now. Like, this is not life. Like, this cannot be my life right now. And I'm only making what, $42,000 a year? Oh yeah, no, this is not the life. They don't see that the doctor didn't stop when they went to medical school. You know, it didn't stop at residency. You have to keep going. And when you keep going, that's getting your CPA license. That's, finding you a specialty. And then guess what? You will put in the hours, but you will live that glamorous lifestyle that everyone is trying to get, and then that, having people in front of you as mentors, which every single one of you, when you pass, because all of you are going to pass, should reach back and show our young college students who are undecided about their careers, and most definitely our high school students, which is going to be one of the focuses that the Lady CPA Network is doing this year, is showing up. People, kids are visual. High school students are visual. They want to see the Maserati, the Tesla, all of this stuff. They say, oh, I want to do that because look what this person is driving. I want to do that because look where they're living. But they don't see that on our side. Like it's not right there in plain view for them to see, so they don't aspire to it. So my goal is to see. I want it to be seen. And I used to hold back years ago and not let people know a lot about me personally, because I just feel like that's just too much for y'all to know. But now I don't do that anymore, because if I'm gonna be a person who is inspiring others to come into my profession, when they ask me why, I need them to see why. Because I'm driving the same thing doctors driving. I'm living in the same community. One lived next to the left, the one lived to the right. And the crazy thing, across the street from me, they're both CPAs, a husband and wife couple. So people don't see that though. And then a lot of times, again, as African Americans, we don't show that part of our lives because we don't want to be haughty. Nobody wants to flaunt their stuff in front of people. But if you are an influencer and you're trying to encourage people to enter a profession that you're in, they gotta know why. And that's kind of why I started the other side of my business, which is the coaching business, which is the six-figure CPA. And that's because people don't know. They go, six-figure CPA? Wait, what? Y'all make that? Absolutely, we do. And everyone does. It's not just me. Like, I have the ladies in the network who mentor, whether they're working for corporations or working for themselves. Your final, not even final job, your job, and I would say that if you put in the work, you pass the CPA exam, you gain your work experience, and you figure out what your niche is going to be, you can definitely find a regular corporate job making six figures, and you can grow your firm to six figures, and then you can do both. A lot of the ladies do both. You have a firm that you're running in the back or whatever, then you still have your regular W-2 job for people that, like that corporate life. Some people like a stability of a paycheck. So I don't tell everyone to go start your firm as soon as you get licensed. Absolutely not. Like you do whatever you want. You can work a corporate job and maybe, pick up 4 or 5 clients on the side, whatever it is that you want to do. You have to figure out what works best for you. Not everyone is an entrepreneur. You might not want to put those types of hours in because you're going to work. You're going to work a whole lot of long hours. And that might not be something you want to do. You might be a more structured person who says, you know what, I want my office. I want to get up in the morning, go get my Starbucks, go to the office. I want to sit there all day, do my job. At 5 o'clock, I want to get off. I want to come home. I don't want to think about it anymore. Then go into corporate accounting, because corporate accounting is very structured. You're not going to work a whole lot of long hours and all of that unless it's some type of special season or something going on. But for the most part, it's really structured and you still can make six figures. If you want to get some real life experience, because eventually you want to own your firm, go into public accounting. They'll kill you for about 2 years, but suffer through it because it will be well worth it, because you will learn everything you could possibly think of, but then get out before you get burnt out. Like, that's not something you would want to aspire to forever. And I tell my Black people all the time, don't try to go over there to Deloitte somewhere and say you're going to work yourself up to partner for what? Why you want to be their partner? Go start your own firm, partner up with a couple of us and be Deloitte. And if we can ever encourage, that's a whole nother sermon I can preach over there about encouraging us to work together. We can overtake any Price Waterhouse, Deloitte, Ernst & Young ever, if all the Black CPA firms will come together and work together, but that's on another note. Anywho, but yeah, definitely public accounting will get you all the knowledge and all the information you need. Yes, it will get you all the information you need. They will work you like a dog, but when you leave there, you will be ready to run your own firm and do well with it. I would not ever encourage any African American person to go into public accounting, especially with the big four, and work your way to partner. That's a waste of time. And all you're doing is making money for them when you can make it on your own. And that's completely why I left. So my corporate job was a corporate job, but we still handled accounts within the corporation. And I was a senior accountant handling 140 accounts. I did it for 2 years, and I said, 140 accounts, you crazy. I can do this on my own. I'm not doing this another day. So I started in 2007, picking up clients in the background. It took me 2 years to transition. And people always say, how do you know when it's time to leave your job and start your firm when you can replace your net income? So what I was bringing home net, because we didn't care about growth. What I was bringing home net, I knew needed to be used to operate my household. So when I had clients that matched what I was bringing home net, then I said, okay, it's time to go. And I resigned in 2009 and have been full-time ever since for myself. I recently, after I passed the CPA exam, picked up a W-2 job that fell in my lap because I absolutely was not looking. And I'm gonna tell you about this licensure thing. It works. It really does. Like, for some reason, when you finish and you put that on LinkedIn and now you're a CPA on top of your whatever else, positions and stuff you've held over the years, it works. Because I was approached through our organization. It was a company looking for a finance manager. The company is Bandcamp, which is the independent artist label, $10 million corporation that most people don't even know about because I had never heard of them a day in my life. And they sent an email to the Lady CPA Network saying, hey, we're looking for a minority, preferably woman, finance manager. It's happening today, guys. Like, we get them all the time where people, because of the social climate that we're in, they're looking for Black CPAs, men and women, all the time. Like, once a week or so, we're getting messages that they need finance directors, finance managers, accounting directors, all of that, and they want us. But we gotta get licensed. Like, the talent pool is scarce. It really is, because there are companies that are specifically looking for us to fill positions with, but the pool is lacking. And with the pool lacking, and then you not having the experience, because they can't hire you just because you're Black. You still have to have the experience, the knowledge, and the know-how to get in there and get the job done. That company came through the Lady CPA Network, and I was looking at my clients and looking at that job description. I can do this. I can do both. I think I can, and I took it. So I'm the finance manager for them. I still run my firm completely in the background, staffing and doing all of that, and then you just keep growing and growing, and the sky is the limit pretty much for whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna take some questions now. I always tell people I send out motivational, inspirational messages daily. Make sure you follow me on social media. Everything is at the Lady CPA. Everyone is always welcome to any of our events. It says the Lady CPA Network. Men are most welcome. It's just it's a girl thing. I gotta put the lady out there, but men are always encouraged to join in, participate. You guys are absolutely more than welcome to attend our study sessions as well. Ours will start back in February because I took a January break because it is absolutely busy season. But we're going to start back in January. And I know our sessions are structured a little differently from yours. So please continue, everybody on this call, to support Zanai, support CPA Bound. Make sure you show up for those study sessions, because ours are only limited to about an hour or so, but they are instructor-led. So they're guided study sessions, to where the first 15 minutes we give study techniques, things you look for when you're reading the questions, how to determine what the question is asking, how to eliminate the wrong choices off the bat. They're all led by Black CPAs, men and women, not that we're teachers or instructors, it's just we passed it. And then we just try to encourage others on how to pass it. So we might not always know the answer to the question exactly, but we can help you work through the question and figure it out. So that's what we do on ours. Of course, I'll send the information to tonight. Everybody is welcome. We're a nonprofit organization. I try not to charge much of anything for anything unless I have a speaker or something that's charging me. other than that, yeah, just make sure you guys follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I spelled my email, the website wrong, but that should be the Lady CPA Network.com. And then my coaching is sixfigurecpacoach.com. All of that good stuff. And let's let the questions begin, because I know you guys probably have some. I haven't been looking at the chat box, so.
Yeah, this was great. I rewrote my whole life down on this paper. I think, and so I encourage everybody to go through the exercise of remembering your why. And at our church, I did a leadership workshop a couple years ago, and I think it was one of the Maxwells, and they said start with the end in mind. And so as you put down what the end you want to get to, that'll help you keep focused. And to be honest, mine has changed. Like I did start off in Big Four. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So that's, I dropped the CPA. I was like moving around. I'm at Crow now, where I'm in the not-for-profit space, which I love. So now I am the one who's like, I want to be partner. But I'm also, like, me and my husband pastor a church. And so I'm like, churches need CPA consultants and they need leadership training. And so there's some other streams that I could do on the side. So that's my why. So I encourage you guys to think through, like, not only your career, but like, what are you passionate about and how can you leverage that from a money perspective. And so this was great. And I know Tremaine was like super excited because he's always talking about like his own business and doctorates and all of that. So he put 2 questions in the chat right away when you were talking about your doctorate. And so first, should we call you Dr. Williams? Is that what?
No, I haven't finished. I still
Okay.
haven't finished writing my dissertation.
Okay. So 2 questions about that. They wanted to know, what does that process like? Are you doing it in accounting? Like, how do you pay for it? And just kind of speak to that a little bit.
I would have done it differently, because there is now I think it's a nonprofit organization called PhD Bound. I believe it is. Something like that. Look it up on LinkedIn. Something like that. Yep. Where they'll actually cover it now. And I didn't know about that until after I had already started and had already finished all of my hours. But it's definitely called the PhD project. It is it. And if you're African American and you go to one of the schools within their program, I believe they pay for it all. I just didn't want to start over because I was already so far done and I was just writing my dissertation. So, but they'll definitely pay for it. Mine is in accounting, just because my focus has always been, why there's less than 1%? Like, I just didn't get it. And I can say I struggled a lot though, because when you're doing a PhD, mine, for example, is a DBA. So it's a doctorate in business, it's a business administration. Some people do PhDs, some do more specialized. Mine was specialized just for business because that's where I am and that's what I do. Getting other people to see that this less than 1% is an issue is what I ran into, because when I started writing my dissertation, the first thing your committee wants to know is, but okay, we get it. It's not a lot of Black people CPAs, but why? Like, why is that a problem? Because when you're writing a doctorate, it has to be a problem and then you're solving the problem or whatever. But I got some people that come around. I will say, because I see the question that says, are certifications more valuable and relevant than a doctorate degree? They are, depending on what you want to do. You have to have a doctorate to teach. And at first I wanted to teach. Like, my original goal, like Zanai, mine has changed. Originally I wanted to teach. So I wanted to be an accounting professor. I decided that I was going to go back to my HBCU and teach accounting. And then I decided, not so much. So that's why I really haven't been in a hurry to finish my dissertation, because they can't take it away from you. Like, they can't take my credits away. Whatever time I decide to say, okay, I'm ready to come back and finish writing, everything picks back up and I just finish it. So if you ever want to teach though, as a professor, a full professor, you do have to have a doctorate, even with a CPA. So that's kind of why the doctorate kind of came in, but the experience and leadership and organizational leadership and stuff that you'll obtain in studying for your doctorate is valuable in running a company. Because now I can go and advise my corporate clients and even my W-2 job on strategic development, global organization, all of that stuff, because you learn that while writing your doctorate. So just having that education and knowledge and experience is invaluable. But I can say the certifications, if you are staying in this profession, will be more valuable than a doctorate. Like nobody's gonna hire me as a corporate, a CFO or something just because I have a doctorate. They hire me because I'm a CPA and because I might be a CMA or CFE. Now, what I do tell people is some certifications are null and void if you're a CPA. Because I have people ask all the time, well, I'm a CPA, should I be an enrolled agent? No, there's no need. So like the enrolled agent is if you want to specialize in taxes, but if you're a CPA, you don't need to go backwards and then be an enrolled agent. Like you can do everything an enrolled agent does as a CPA, so that you don't need. Some people say, well, should I be a certified management accountant? I do see some benefit to that if you want to be like a corporate controller, management, more focused on management accounting and all of that. I do see the benefits to that. I see the benefits of internal audit certification, even with a CPA, because it focuses on audit. And definitely for me, the CFE, because I focus on fraud and auditing a lot. So having that certification. So there are definitely some certifications that I say work well with the CPA and that you can't just rely on CPA. It's funny because if you guys think now, and anyone that's closer to my age, you know, when we got out of school, having a bachelor's degree was like, oh, shoot, you got a bachelor's degree. Then it was like, man, you got a master's degree? Like, wow. Now, these kids coming out of school with a master's degree. So you got to get certifications and doctorates or whatever, because it's now being encouraged at an undergraduate level to keep going and put in an extra year and a half and come out with your master's degree. So now when you're looking at salary structures, the salary differences are huge because people are barely hiring when you with a bachelor's degree these days. So you definitely still got to have a master's degree. And then to top that with certifications, if you want to make yourself more appealing to whether that's your own clients or more appealing to recruiters or whatever, definitely the certifications and definitely some more specialty certifications on top of that. And I'm telling you, once you pass the CPA exam, you pass anything. I studied for the CFP exam in 30 days, and I finished all the study material in 30 days, and I'll take it sometime next week. But once you get through the CPA exam, you can conquer the world. I told you, I've had lawyers who are lawyers and CPAs, and they said the CPA exam was more difficult than the bar exam. Like it's just a very hard exam. And I tell people too, and make sure you guys remember this, that the CPA exam is not a test of knowledge. Because people go, I was a 4.0 student, I graduated college in 3 years, and this is a test of endurance and patience. Like it has nothing to do with what you know or how smart you are. You just have to keep pushing and keep pushing, know how to take a no. And I tell people, you got one day to cry. I think Mahogany's on the call. What about it? She's been like a mentee of mine since I was in corporate accounting in 2007. And she's been with me ever since, mentoring, pushing along, trying to get her to hurry up and take this test. But it's a test of endurance. And when you get that fail, you got one day to cry and you need to be studying the next, because it's endurance. You just have to keep going. And I tell people to stay off social media and don't compare yourself to anybody else. If somebody got it done in 6 months and made all 90s, kudos to you. If it take you 18 months or well, hopefully no more than 18 months, so you don't want to start losing stuff. But if it takes you longer, then so be it, because guess what? We both licensed. Nobody cares that you passed in 6 months and 94s on all 4 sections. All they say is CPA at the end of your name, and they're gonna put these two together and choose. So they're not gonna say, well, this person passed the CPA exam and and this person, they don't care about that. You can pass it all 75s, you're still a CPA. That's what I tell people.
What are your thoughts on, Annette asked this, what are your thoughts on only having 8%, what she said, what are your thoughts of having only 8% of African Americans in the accounting and audit space?
Well, I think I think when they give those numbers and statistics, it's the pool. See, a lot of us keep thinking that, okay, well, you know, as Black people, we're being discriminated against or something, and that's why the percentage is so low. It's not. It's just that we aren't majoring in accounting. We're not taking the certifications exam. Now, you know, back before in the it was 1967 or so when we were being prohibited from taking the test. We didn't have the work experience and couldn't work up under a white CPA to have them sign off. And then Jewish firms are the ones who started signing off for us to become CPAs. So we already started behind the 8 ball there. But there is nothing, when I tell you nothing, there is nothing hindering people right now. And the same, I think lawyers are at 13% and doctors are about 13% in the African-American, doctors and lawyers. But we can be there too. It's just a matter of putting in the work and increasing the numbers. And I think people just get discouraged. I think a lot of people just don't know. They don't know it's not an option early enough. Right. We're talking about being doctors and lawyers to kids in elementary and middle and high school, and nobody probably would ever talk to anybody about majoring in accounting or being accountant until they're already in college. And I just think that's too late. So I think,
I'm glad you talked about you guys are going to do your high school program too, because that's what NABA does, like the ACAP program. And so I think for anybody on this call, like it's up to us, like NABA's motto, lifting as we climb, like everybody has some type of mentor thing. It's up to us to go back and start talking to these students. And I know I do a lot of D&I with my firm and with like the Indiana CPA Society. I'm not even a CPA yet, but I am so involved in the CPA Society. Whenever they need somebody to go talk to high school students, I am there. And I'm like, I'm a Black girl, my hair is normally red, but I'm in accounting and you need to major in accounting too. And so anybody, the 27 of us on this call, if your job asks you to volunteer with D&I and to talk to students, you need to do it. Like that's something that we have to make time for if we're going to change the numbers.
I think one thing I heard somebody saying, I was on one of my Facebook groups or something, is that even the STEM program, they're looking at making it STEM up. And including accounting in it, because the students just don't know. And then like I said, show up as you. Don't show up in no blue suit with your little, don't do that. Show up as you. I'm coming in my dress with my burgundy hair and my face beat, and I'm gonna tell y'all that I'm an accountant. Because that's what the kids want to say. They want to say, oh shoot, okay, wait, this is what, okay, come on. But if you show up in there with your hair pulled back in a bun and this little navy blue suit on, like you in SBI, I went to FAM, y'all. So SBI, anybody that majored in business at FAM, you had to wear these navy blue or black suits every once a week with these old ugly pumps. And that's what business was supposed to be. That is no longer business. I'm sorry, that's not business anymore. And if we present ourselves as we are every day to these students, they will run to say, I want to do that. Sign me up, mentor me, here we are. And I think that should be the goal of both organizations. I do know other organizations and their focus is not on the high school, middle school kids. Like they're focusing on college students, but by the time you reach college, you normally already know what you want to do. And that's not going to help the profession the way it needs to. Like we got to definitely start earlier and definitely start attracting students earlier if you want to make any change. So the question that was asked, that 8% or whatever it is now, is only because the students don't have interest and they don't know about it. And I definitely think if we can continue to pique the interest and at an early stage in life and then rear them on up, then I think those numbers will continue to climb. It really will.
Carmen asked, she said, for people who have a bachelor's and master's in accounting and are already a CPA, do you think getting an MBA from a M7 institution is necessary to make it to the C-suite? Or what would be your advice regarding that, assuming one already has great work ethic?
No, don't go back and do that. Okay, so first of all, that's again traveling backwards. Because like I wouldn't now, with a master's degree in business, go back to, let's say, because Harvard and everybody has these wonderful programs where you can get degrees and stuff, so you can have. No, what's going to help you get to CFO potential and all of that is your knowledge, your confidence, and the way you present yourself. Crazy enough, you can have two people with the same information on paper, but you go into that interview and I will kill it to get a CFO position because you just have to be knowledgeable about the company. And if you research a lot of companies, most CFOs aren't CPAs. That's true. A lot of CFOs don't even, and CEOs of companies barely have a master's degree. It's the knowledge and experience that they can bring to the organization to take that organization wherever they want to go. So now for us, because we're going to keep it real on this call, you're going to need the CPA and all of that because we're already starting behind. So we always have to prove ourselves. That's just real. That's just a Black girl that's been in a whole lot of boardrooms with a bunch of white men. And I have to prove myself all the time, but I don't have a problem with it. So that's the stance you have to take. You have to know, if I want to be, if your goal is to be a CFO for any organization, whatever it is, you know that that's your focus, and then you shape your knowledge and yourself in a position to achieve that. And that means being knowledgeable about growth, expansion, strategies. Companies hire CFOs that can take them to the next level. They don't care about your degrees and all that. Of course, for us, we got to have it. But you would be up against a white man that doesn't have all those degrees, but has taken another corporation to such and such level. Well, as you, one of us, we have to have a master's degree, the CPA and all of that. But then we also need to be able to show, how can I take this organization to the next level? This is why I should be CFO. And you got to go for it. I think a lot of times we lack confidence in who we are. And we don't display our knowledge because as Black people, we are taught to be humble. It's just my belief. That's just how I grew up. Mama always said, be humble, don't boast, blah, 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 blah. If you're trying to go corporate, you're going to boast and ain't nobody going to give you accolades but yourself. So you got to go in there and you got to own it. You got to serve it and you got to tell them, this is why I'm going to be the best person for blah, blah, blah. The company that I told you guys about, Bandcamp, that I'm the finance manager for, I've been there 1 year. And on our one-on-one, he said, what do you expect out of this position? I said, I need to be CFO in a year. If I'm not, I'll leave. So know your worth. Like, don't stay in a company that does not see your value, that you're working your butt off to prove yourself to them, just in hopes that they give you a position that you can go somewhere else and someone will gladly offer you the position. So I tell people, know your worth and don't be afraid to tell people what you're there for. So when you sit on these interviews and you saying, okay, I'm interviewing for a controller position, and they say, where do you see yourself in the future? You say, I see myself as a CFO. They say, okay, well, we don't have that position, or pretty much telling you it's not going to happen. Then you already know. So then it's up to you to make the decision. Am I willing to come to this company knowing I can probably never achieve my ultimate goal? Well, if you need the money and you can get some experience for a year or two, then sure, but leave. As Black people, we stay at jobs until they wear us out. You hate it. You going in there pissed off because you got to go to work today because we've been conditioned to be responsible, to stay on jobs. Don't jump back and forth to jobs too much, blah, blah, blah. That's foolishness. Look at them other people's resumes. They have been CFOs for 10 different companies. They don't stay long because they know their worth, they know their value, and they know they were willing to accept. So after a year or two, they've learned what they learned. Guess what? They're applying at another company to keep it moving. We the only crazy people walking to the same door for 20 years. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm real. Like, that's just how I talk. Like, I don't know how to be any other way. I'm not walking in your building for 20 years to sit in your cubicle. It's just not gonna happen.
No, that's real though. That's definitely, I've always said, like, I didn't want to, I think we even had this conversation in chat. I was like, I don't want my own firm because I don't want to have to do all of that other stuff. Like, I want to go somewhere that already has it.
Yep.
But then, like, even like having a conversation with like some other people in the group, like Tremaine and Shaq and all these people, I'm like, okay, well, maybe, it's something to consider. But I think, like you said, it's just a change in mindset because we've been so conditioned to, you should do this, you should work for somebody, you don't want to take on the risk, whatever else.
Retirement, you want to retire so you can get your Social Security. Yeah. I ain't worried about Social Security because I'm trying to have 5 streams of revenue, and it's gonna keep coming. After I'm 65, I'm still making money from this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I don't have to work a job until I retire to get Social Security because I'm not worried about your Social Security. So you're building wealth, and that's a whole nother sermon to preach because we as people have been conditioned to work a job or own a business. I am conditioned to be wealthy, which is multiple revenue streams, anywhere they're coming from. So if one falls off tomorrow, I'm still good. And that's just kind of what we have to just learn as a people, really.
Can you talk about, and then we'll let you go, but can you talk about a little, like, how you balance the different revenue streams? Because I think that's a thing for me. Yeah. Like, I have the church that we run, I have my job, I have NABA, like I have all of these things, but really only one is making me money. And
Yeah.
so I have to do all this other stuff for free. And so if I stop my daytime job, how do I possibly create all of these other revenue streams that can match that? So let's kind of talk about like your daily, how do you make it all
Yeah.
fit?
You can't actively do everything. So some revenue streams are going to be passive. So some of them you may only dedicate 5 or 10 hours to a week, and you definitely don't want to dedicate all your time to the least, the one that has the least return or least pay, I should say. Like, I don't want to say it that way, but yeah. So like for me, I love the Lady CPA Network. That's my passion. It's a nonprofit. I love it. But it's not bringing in any money other than to support, you know, whatever staff and little stuff I do in the background, but I'm not taking any type of salary for it. So I can't dedicate 40 hours a week to that, but I can purposefully dedicate, you know, 10 or so hours just to make sure that my passion continues on, because I know the potential of it to make revenue. And that's kind of like with the church and all of that. Then let's say you are one that has a regular job, because your regular job is paying the bills, and then you know you have to work that job, but you also have to be so good at that job that it's not taking you 40 hours a week. Like you have to get that thing down to a science, because there's no way that you can work, like literally work 40 to 60 hours on a job and then still build your other revenue streams. Now, any other revenue streams you have should be passive, meaning you aren't the one physically working in it. You aren't the one that having to do the day-to-day. So whether that's setting up, so I'll just talk about my finance position at Bandcamp. I have that thing down to a science where it's just us on this call. I probably work 15 hours or 10 hours a week, if that, but I get a full salary as a finance manager. It's just organized that way. And then when you interview for positions, you know if these people about to work you to death or not. And if that's what you want to do with yourself. So you know it. And if you know, okay, I can't take this right now because I'm trying to do these other things too, then just don't take it. But then you have other things like my firm. It's been in business so long that my staff runs my firm. So the only thing I have to do is maybe take a call or so every now and then with a client, run a few emails or something, but I'm not the one physically sitting entering data entry into QuickBooks. You hire people for that, and you can hire people really cheap for that. So that's, I think, as again, people who own businesses, they think they have to do everything in the business, and they won't relinquish it to anybody else, but you can't expand and grow in revenue streams if you're doing everything. What is the thing? You can't receive in if your fist closed. So if you're doing everything yourself, you can't branch out and do anything else because you're doing it all. And I don't have a problem delegating and hiring people in the background to say, okay, you do this, you do that, you do this, because delegating those responsibilities is going to be how you expand. Even stuff as simple as social media. If you look at the time it takes to post on all these social media platforms about your business or what you're doing or your profession, that time is taken away from you making money. Hire somebody. It's people on Upwork that'll do that stuff for you for $5 an hour. I have a whole social media person. I don't even know what she posts most days, because there's no way in my busy schedule I got time to sit here and try to figure out what to post on social media. But you need it. You need social media to grow your presence, your audience, especially if you're running a business. And crazy enough, I tell people, and whoever had that CFO question and C-suite questions, if you want to build your brand and you still a brand and be a CFO or be over there, you still need to be on LinkedIn, posting nice little nuggets about your knowledge, whatever you're knowledgeable in, organizational growth, strategy, blah, 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 whatever it is. Crazy enough, the recruiters look at that. Recruiters will follow you and look at what you're posting, looking at your knowledge, drop you a link on LinkedIn and say, hey, are you open to blah, blah, blah? Let's have a discussion. But you don't have the time to do that. So you just hire a social media person, go right on over to one of the little cheap freelance websites, hire somebody to do that kind of stuff. And then anything else that you can make money off of. Like I invested in this new app that this lady is doing, and it's wonderful. I don't have time, like Zanaya said, I don't have time to develop something from the beginning, but you know how you really like ideas and you have stuff. And I really like what she was doing, but I don't have time to do that. She already developed it, and all I do is say, okay, what you need me to do? Oh, you just need me to push it on social media and I get 15% return. Okay, great. So think of like things that you can help that other people are already doing, and you can say, you know, they might be strapped for money or whatever, and you might have a little extra to say, hey, I can put 5,000 in towards, you know, this business that you're growing. It could be your girlfriend's wig line. Like, don't think because we're accountants that everything you do has to be accounting based. My husband has a hemp business. He's the CBD and all of that stuff in product based business. I do investments in other people's business because I'm a business person. So I can tell you how to run your business. I can tell you how to make money. I don't want to run your business and make money. So you do what I tell you to, you make the money and I get my return. So that's how you structure different revenue streams. So it's not that you got a full-time job you working, you got your business you running, and you're trying to run 3 other businesses. Like one of my CPA ladies is she flips houses. She's a CPA. Her regular job is government accounting. She does a government accounting job as W-2. She has her CPA firm that she does CFO consulting, and she flips houses. Because guess what? She ain't painting walls. All she's doing is putting the money in. The investors are coming in with her. They hire a contract, a project manager, flip the house, sell the house. Now she got money coming back. And she didn't physically have to do any work. And I think that as we as a people, we keep thinking we got to do it all. Like I'm not putting on a hard hat, painting the wall. Right. But I want my money. So here's some money to put in. Now I got my money back and I just doubled and tripled it. And that's where we have to be as a mindset now.
This is great. We're gonna have to do a part. We're gonna have to do a part 2. Where you can tell us how to become millionaires.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's a lot, but yeah.
No, this is great. So first things first, we need to get our CPA licenses.
Yes.
And then we're gonna take over the world.
Yes.
As a unit.
And this is the time, y'all. You know this world is a bunch of followers. So you know this is the time. We have a whole African American, I don't care if her mama Indian, whoever she is, she Black and she the vice president. We need to take advantage of that because this world are followers. So they are going to be looking for people of color to do this stuff now because that's just how the world is. So, you know, when you're hot, you're hot. Take advantage of being hot.
Yeah, walk in it. I like it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. This was great. Like I told y'all my notes. So hopefully I was taking notes. I did record it. We'll see if I'm gonna send it out. I might cut it off at some. Do you mind if I send this out, Jujuan?
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, you can send it out.
So I'll share this if we want to rewatch it, and then we'll think of a part 2 for sure.
Yes. And can I want to answer one thing. I just saw Carmen. This question I was just scrolling through and I gotta say something about it. So how would you
invest
$1,000 in 2021 assuming high risk tolerance? Let me tell you about these types of investments. I would never, I'm not a big, so when people think investment, they always think stocks. That is the slowest return on your money ever. You have to have so much patience because I invest in stocks, but my stock money is money that you're just willing to lose if you can, and if you get money off of it, great, but it's not something that if I know I want a return on. If I wanted money with a sure enough return, I would invest it in a business that you don't have to run. It is people out here. I have a client, and this is the smartest thing ever. This man bought some land, just land in the middle of nowhere type land, cleared it off and made it a parking lot for RVs and boat storage. And makes a ton of money with no overhead because it's just land. He put a guard gate up and a security and people pay him monthly to park their boats and RVs there. We got to look at Shark Tank, y'all, and see what the white people doing and do it. Like that's literally like they think of ideas that, again, you not doing the work, but you making money off of it. So like the flipping house thing is still relevant and it still makes a whole lot of money. Anything that you can invest in with, you know, someone who, you know, their business idea is good because you don't want to invest in everybody's business. Some stuff is just foolishness. So you do want to evaluate the business. And if you hear their business pitch and it's something that you know you would do if you had time, then you invest in it. And then you make sure you back them to make sure they make your money back. But anything like that. So I always want us as a people to know when people say invest, don't think about stocks first. That's a slow return on your money. When you're trying to build quick money, you want to invest in a business or something that's bringing a return right away. nothing that you just gotta wait on. But then also always know, don't ever invest anything that you can't afford to lose, ever. If you don't invest your light bill and your lights off tomorrow. So you still gotta use wisdom. Still gotta use wisdom. Don't take your last and invest it unless you know that you can put the work in on the return on the investment. Because I tell people now, even in the coaching business, if you can't afford to pay me this right now, then don't. Or if you can afford it, but you don't have time to put the work in right now, then don't do it, because I'm not gonna give you a refund because you didn't put the work in. You still gotta put the work in. So any investment you do is still work associated with it, and you gotta know kind of what your position is and work it out. Okay, I'm done.
That was good. We literally, like, everybody has been on this whole time. Like, nobody has dropped. So I think it was a necessary conversation, very encouraging. Like I said, I'll email it out. We'll do another part 2. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Definitely follow Jujuan on all social media at the Lady CPA. Get more tips, probably reach out for questions. And yeah, go take over the world. Have a good
Let me
weekend.
know, and you guys make sure you be on the lookout. Follow us for our live study sessions. They'll start back, like I said, in February. And I think we're starting with audit too, because we always have a high demand for audit. Not audit, I'm sorry, FAR. We always have a high demand for FAR. So I think our sessions are going to start again with FAR. And then I think our second is audit, because we have a couple people taking audit too that kind of wanted some advice on audit. So just make sure you follow along so you'll know when the dates and stuff out. And of course, I'll send them to you ladies to make sure you can announce it to everybody. And I'm happy to help any way I can, anytime I can.
Perfect.
All right, it's been great.
All right. Have a good weekend, y'all.